What's up, cool people? Welcome to tonight's live stream. My name's Matt, aka That Random Christian Gamer. Yeah, for the moment, it's only Twitch that's working right now. One freaking computer update, and I just get kicked out of so many things. It is really annoying. I found a few demos that I am looking into, or that I will be trying out. Don't know if it'll all be tonight. In fact, I think it's very unlikely that it would all be tonight. And I think because I am supposedly live on YouTube, according to OBS, all right, well, Seth, if you wouldn't mind going ahead and just taking over the roles for that random exercise, because, well, I already downloaded 4 demos off of the, off of Steam from what showed up when I clicked Next Fest, so I am pretty sure we'll have time for all of it. Or I'm pretty sure that it will use up all the time we have, is what I'm trying to say. I wish I could just access these stream settings and stuff while I'm... Okay. I might, just to see if I can get something to work real quick, have to, like, stop the stream for just a little bit and then come back. Just to try and do one little thing, see if it'll let me change a setting so that I can maybe get the YouTube end of things working. Select the new key below. Oh, hold up. Never mind. Scratch that. Seems like it's working. Okay. Cool. Then... Alright, Twitch ads are gonna start rolling here in like a minute. And... Okay, I really don't feel like going to get my stuff for dice right now, so... I'm gonna use an app on my phone. See what we roll for the exercise. So, let me see here. Exercise number 1. What's the one? Okay. The angles. Anyway. So that's a 3 for the exercise and 2 for the roll after that, which is usually the, like, set thing, depending on the exercise. Okay, squats times 2, and then squats I usually do a lot of anyway. And then second exercise, 4 and 6. So that's, oh, jumping jacks in sets of 6. Okay. Can we combine those for pinning, please? Okay, thank you. Um, this stream is just all kinds of mildly janky, but so far, we're kind of making it work. Also, you know what? Ads are showing, so never mind. I will say the thing that I was thinking of here in a moment, after the ads are done. Meanwhile, I guess I can take a quick look at the game that Seth suggested, but again, I already have... Interesting. Maybe that'll be another time. I think there was another one I found that wouldn't... Well... No, I don't think any of the ones that I downloaded are necessarily quite the same kind of game. I thought I would maybe, you know, not necessarily lean towards roguelike stuff, considering how much I've been playing Slay the Spire lately. But before I get into any of that, we have Bible study to do. Okay. And pretty sure the Twitch ads are done by now. But yeah, Seth, in case you missed me saying it because of the ad break, I said maybe I would look into that at a later time. Maybe it'll be part of tomorrow's stream after Kingdom Hearts. But I thought I would not necessarily look too much at roguelikes because I've done a bunch of Slay the Spire, which, you know, is definitely in the roguelike genre. All right. Yeah, I noticed the release date is in like a week, literally. But, anyway, Bible study is in the immediate future. So, let's, hop into that, I suppose. Oh, before we do, though, quick thanks on Twitch for a follow from an account called The Rushmore Show. So, yeah, thanks for that. Okay. Bible study time. Here we go. All right. So, we have made it to 2 Chronicles chapter 25. So, the recap of events for the exiles of Judah has essentially brought us to multiple kings after Solomon, after, you know, Judah and the rest of Israel split, essentially. And we've been focused on Judah because this is directed towards the exiles from Judah. Last chapter, we had Joash as king, and he was crowned king at a very young age. Really, the one priest was more the major religious influence for sure, and even kind of ran things as far as the kingdom was concerned. Jehoiada kind of kept things afloat and definitely kept the people, leaning towards God while he was alive. But then he died, and Joash, still king, it gets convinced by other leaders to abandon the Lord, to put it bluntly, and do all sorts of bad stuff. So then it said his son became the next king. We'll see how that goes, because Joash had two very different approaches depending on whether Jehoiada was alive or not. So let's see what his son does in this chapter here. So here we go. 2 Chronicles 25. Amaziah was 25 years old when he became king, and he reigned in Jerusalem 29 years. His mother was Jehoiadin from Jerusalem. Amaziah did what was pleasing in the Lord's sight, but not wholeheartedly. When Amaziah was well established as king, he executed the officials who had assassinated his father. However, he did not kill the children of the assassins, for he obeyed the command of the Lord as written by Moses in the book of the law. Parents must not be put to death for the sins of their children, nor children for the sins of their parents. Those deserving to die must be put to death for their own crimes. So, maybe we'll get a little more detail here on what it means when it says he did what was pleasing in the Lord's sight, but not wholeheartedly. It sounds like he might have, just kind of gone through the motions or something like that, is the first impression that I get. But, again, maybe we'll read more on that later, so I'm not going to spend too much time speculating. Now, it did say his father Joash ruled for 40 years, so, a reasonable amount of time to have a son who grows up to be 25. Although Joash was only 7 when he started his time as king, so only about 47 when he died. So, still, subtract 25 years from that. So Amaziah was born while Joash was 22. So, yeah, that's very much reasonable. Anyway, that also means, of course, Amaziah being 25, he had plenty of time to see what his father did as king. I still don't really know what the balance was as far as how much of Joash's life he did good things versus bad. Or at least how much of his time as king that he was one way or the other. But it seems like at least Amaziah is leaning a little bit more towards the good. And one of those kind of good things, at least, that he seems to be doing is recognizing that, his father's assassins, yes, deserve death, but not their children, as it was mentioned back in the laws of Moses. So, yeah, he seems okay so far. Notes. Jehoiadin, who is his mother, comes from the parallel text, or I guess it says as in, meaning they matched it with the parallel text at 2 Kings 14:2. Hebrew reads Jehoiadan. Well, okay, that's one vowel different. Meh. And ancient Hebrew didn't really have vowels like we do in modern day English. Okay, so this note is just giving you where the quote comes from that's talking about that law that says not to put children to death for their parents' sins and vice versa. It comes from Deuteronomy 24:16. Okay. Don't really have any other thoughts on that. Let's move on to verse 5. Then Amaziah organized the army, assigning generals and captains for all Judah and Benjamin. He took a census and found that he had an army of 300,000 select troops, 20 years old and older, all trained in the use of spear and shield. He also paid about 7,500 pounds of silver to hire 100,000 experienced fighting men from Israel. Israel being, the rest of the tribes, essentially. Yeah. Meaning, not Judah or Benjamin, but the other tribes of Israel. Okay, so total of 400,000 troops. Sorry. I paused because of a sneeze, so I'm like, I might as well sort of pause. Look at footnotes here at least. Hebrew says commanders of thousands and of hundreds instead of generals and captains. Same general idea, though. Also paid 7,500 pounds of silver. Hebrew says 100 talents, which they mathed out. They calculated, I should say, to be about that much. Just giving you the Hebrew measurement, because that's definitely what the Hebrew would have said originally in the writings, and that's what they would have called what was actually paid. Okay, so he organized an army. Then, verse 7. But a man of God came to him and said, Your Majesty, do not hire troops from Israel, for the Lord is not with Israel. He will not help those people of Ephraim. If you let them go with your troops into battle, you will be defeated by the enemy no matter how well you fight. God will overthrow you, for he has the power to help you or to trip you up. Amaziah asked the man of God, But what about all that silver I paid to hire the army of Israel? The man of God replied, The Lord is able to give you much more than this. So Amaziah discharged the hired troops and sent them back to Ephraim. This made them very angry with Judah, and they returned home in a great rage. Yeah, I mean, I would imagine for at least some people, it's rather annoying to be hired for a job, show up for it, only to be told, yeah, never mind, go back. We're not doing this. We don't need you. Only because in a, modern day work kind of context, that would be more just annoying because it's like, well, I planned my whole day around this. Also, at least, in modern US work contexts, that to a lot of people would end up meaning, well, now I'm not getting paid. Although Israel, I imagine it was, the kingdom of Israel that got paid. So probably like the king / treasurer or whoever kept track of the kingdom's money that was actually paid, not the individual troops. So that could have caused some confusion and frustration on that end of things when the troops report back so quickly. Maybe there would be some discussion over how much, if any, they would get paid. Because there might be a thought that, You guys just didn't do your job. So you're not going to get paid. I don't know if that's even how that generally worked. My brain was just on a train of thought. And I was rolling with it. Yeah. But anyway, because of hearing from this man of God, Amaziah sends those troops back. Because, like, the separated tribes of Israel and their own kingdom basically never followed God. They never really worshipped God since the split. So, of course, God wasn't with them. They had abandoned God, so that, yeah. Anyway, so after discharging them, we get to verse 11. Then Amaziah summoned his courage and led his army to the Valley of Salt, where they killed 10,000 Edomite troops from Seir. They captured another 10,000 and took them to the top of a cliff and threw them off, dashing them to pieces on the rocks below. Meanwhile, the hired troops that Amaziah had sent home raided several of the towns of Judah between Samaria and Beth-horon. They killed 3,000 people and carried off great quantities of plunder. When King Amaziah returned from slaughtering the Edomites, he brought with him idols taken from the people of Seir. He set them up as his own gods, bowed down in front of them, and offered sacrifices to them. This made the Lord very angry, and he sent a prophet to ask, "Why do you turn to gods who could not even save their own people from you?" But the king interrupted him and said, "Since when have I made you the king's counselor? Be quiet now before I have you killed." So the prophet stopped with this warning: "I know that God has determined to destroy you because you have done this and have refused to accept my counsel." Okay, pausing there for a little bit. So, he was successful against Edom. Good news there. But, two bits of bad news. The troops that he sent away from Israel took some stuff and killed people along their way back. Killed people of Judah along their way back. So, I wouldn't be surprised if that comes up later as a point of conflict. And second bit of bad news from this: Amaziah takes some of the idols from the people that he just defeated in battle and starts worshiping those idols, or the gods that those idols represent. And I am totally in agreement with the prophet here, who's like, why would you decide to worship something that yourself and your God defeated? Clearly, those are inferior deities. Why, when you worship the one true God of Israel and of, your ancestors, would you give up that? Why would you give that up for clearly something that is worse? But sorry. But apparently Amaziah is not hearing it and tells the prophet to be quiet or die. So the final words of this prophet essentially say, all right, well, it's your loss. You've figuratively dug your own grave. And then we'll get to verse 17. I was just double checking to see if there were any notes. There were not. Okay, verse 17. After consulting with his advisors, King Amaziah of Judah sent this challenge to Israel's king Jehoash, the son of Jehoahaz and grandson of Jehu. Come and meet me in battle. But King Jehoash of Israel replied to King Amaziah of Judah with this story. Out in the Lebanon mountains, a thistle sent a message to a mighty cedar tree. Give your daughter in marriage to my son. But just then a wild animal of Lebanon came by and stepped on the thistle, crushing it. You are saying, I have defeated Edom, and you are very proud of it. But my advice is to stay at home. Why stir up trouble that will only bring disaster on you and the people of Judah? So, this was also told back in 2 Kings, as I recall. Only from the perspective of Israel, not Judah. In any case, it was the same general message. It's like, okay, yeah, you defeated Edom. Big whoop. Our army is much bigger and more powerful. You're only asking for destruction. Back off. Or it's not going to end well for you. And also, why would... I guess this challenge came about in part because of the destruction that the troops from Israel caused on their way back after being discharged. That makes a little sense to me. Because otherwise I'm like, why in the world would his advisors suggest attacking Israel? Or just fighting with them in general? But my guess is it was because of the things that those troops did as they were returning. Note here, Jehoash. Hebrew says Joash, which is considered a variant spelling. And especially in 2 Kings, that distinction between Jehoash, possibly named Joash, who was king of Israel, and Joash / maybe Jehoash, king of Judah, think was kind of helpful. Otherwise, it's like, wait, which one are we talking about? Because both could have been called Joash or Jehoash. But yeah, it's sticking with that for the king of Israel because it already had Joash, Amaziah's father, mentioned as king of Judah, and trying to help distinguish the two. Anyway, I feel like I'm talking in circles. Let me get off that point. Now, where it says, come and meet me in battle, there's a note. The Hebrew could read, come, let us look one another in the face. That doesn't literally say, let's fight, but it's a pretty easy implication from that. And that might also have been sort of a figure of speech that essentially meant, I challenge you. But, yeah. So, Amaziah puts up this challenge. Jehoash doesn't really want anything to do with it. Then we get to verse 20. But Amaziah refused to listen, for God was determined to destroy him for turning to the gods of Edom. So King Jehoash of Israel mobilized his army against King Amaziah of Judah. The two armies drew up their battle lines at Beth Shemesh in Judah. Judah was routed by the army of Israel, and its army scattered and fled for home. King Jehoash of Israel captured Judah's king, Amaziah son of Joash, and grandson of Ahaziah at Beth Shemesh. Then he brought him to Jerusalem, where he demolished 600 feet of Jerusalem's wall, from the Ephraim gate to the corner gate. He carried off all the gold and silver and all the articles from the temple of God that had been in the care of Obed-Edom. He also seized the treasuries of the royal palace, along with hostages, and then returned to Samaria. King Amaziah of Judah lived for 15 years after the death of King Jehoash of Israel. The rest of the events of Amaziah's reign, from beginning to end, are recorded in the book of the kings of Judah and Israel. After Amaziah turned away from the Lord, there was a conspiracy against his life in Jerusalem, and he fled to Lachish. But his enemies sent assassins after him, and they killed him there. They brought his body back on a horse, and he was buried with his ancestors in the city of David. So, yeah. Turns out it was a very bad idea for Amaziah to, not only make this challenge initially, but then stick to his guns and not listen when Jehoash told him it was a bad idea. So then they fight. Judah loses easily and significantly. And then Jehoash winds up destroying a bunch of stuff in Jerusalem, taking a bunch of things from either the temple or the palace there. I am not totally sure which it said. Seized the treasuries of the royal palace. Okay, so... also carried off gold and silver articles from the temple. So, yeah. Just a major loss for Judah in all sorts of ways there. But let's zoom out here a little bit and say that it wasn't necessarily because Israel was more powerful than Judah. They might have had a bigger and stronger army, yes, but ultimately God wasn't happy with Amaziah and worshiping the gods from Edom. So that's... God really, if anything, used this conflict as the mechanism to bring about his judgment upon Amaziah and really even Judah as a whole for that act of turning away and worshiping other gods. Note there at 600 feet, probably going to give the... Yeah, Hebrew says 400 cubits. But significant chunk of the wall. And... yeah, sorry. So it mentions, though, that Amaziah lived for 15 years still after the death of Jehoash. Not entirely sure what would have happened in that time frame, though. Like, specifically, what was happening with Amaziah in the meantime. I mean, it does say that Amaziah had been captured by Jehoash. So it's like, okay, well, when Jehoash died, was Amaziah still kept as a prisoner? Had he been essentially released after all that destruction and disgrace? Or like I don't know. Maybe it says more back in Second Kings and I'm just not remembering. Feel free to chime in if you know that that's the case. But yeah, that's, you know, I would say Amaziah started off well and then fell off like some of the other kings, but really, I mean, he didn't start off particularly strong. I mean, it even says, not wholeheartedly, that he did what was pleasing in God's sight. So, it was more like, started off okay, and then things went bad. But, yeah, so that's your recap summary thing of the entire reign of Amaziah over the kingdom of Judah. And now it does say that he was buried in the city of David still. Although it doesn't mention whether it was at the royal cemetery or whatever. So there's a footnote there where it mentions his burial. As in some Hebrew manuscripts and other ancient versions, most Hebrew manuscripts read the city of Judah, but like it hasn't really mentioned a city by the name of Judah. The main city of Judah, the tribe and the kingdom, was Jerusalem, which was the city of David. I'm thinking it probably means the same city. But it doesn't mention him being necessarily buried in like the royal cemetery or whatever it was, where all of the clearly honorable kings of Judah were buried. And actually, sorry, looking back for a second at Jehoiada, when it mentions his burial, it said he was buried among the kings. Gives no such specification for Amaziah even. I mean, like, his father Joash wasn't, I don't think. And there were a couple of other kings before then that weren't buried in that same spot. So, yeah, it seems like that definitely has some ties to how closely a particular king of Judah did what was right in God's eyes. So, anyway, that should cover everything then for 2 Chronicles chapter 25. And we will move on to chapter 26 after I get a quick sip of water. Okay. And here we go. All right. We're looking at 2 Chronicles 26. We're looking back through the history of Judah and its kings, because this is a recap that was meant for the exiles presumably under Babylon's control. I don't recall necessarily. I mean, I think it was still Babylon that controlled at least the one-time kingdom of Judah. Not sure if they actually took control of where the rest of the tribes of Israel had lived before as well. There was some other kingdom that initially conquered the other tribes of Israel, at least. But within this look back at the kings of Judah and their deeds. The first few did pretty well. We have had, at this point now, a few that were just straight up bad. Some that started off good to okay and then fell off. And yeah. Especially the king that was mentioned in the last chapter, Amaziah. He was only like so-so to start off with. It said he did what was pleasing in the Lord's sight, but not wholeheartedly. So then, when he started worshiping other gods, it was a real quick judgment that came upon him and Judah in the form of the rest of the tribes of Israel and their kingdom, or their kingdom's army, engaging in battle, defeating Judah like easily. It said Judah was routed in that battle. And then some stuff in Jerusalem was destroyed. Some goods were taken from the temple and the palace. Yeah. Not good. So after all of this, or after all of that stuff that I just described, is where we come in here for 2 Chronicles 26. So, here we go. All the people of Judah had crowned Amaziah's 16-year-old son Uzziah as king in place of his father. After his father's death, Uzziah rebuilt the town of Elath and restored it to Judah. Uzziah was 16 years old when he became king, and he reigned in Jerusalem 52 years. His mother was Jechaliah from Jerusalem. He did what was pleasing in the Lord's sight, just as his father Amaziah had done. Uzziah sought God during the days of Zechariah, who taught him to fear God. And as long as the king sought guidance from the Lord, God gave him success. Okay, so my immediate thought upon reading, he did what was pleasing in the Lord's sight, just as his father Amaziah had done, goes back to the start of the previous chapter, where it says Amaziah did what was pleasing in the Lord's sight, but not wholeheartedly. So it's like, yeah, okay, you're kind of doing the right things, but are you really doing them for the right reasons? Or is it just because you feel like you gotta? But, 16-year-old reigns for 52 years, so definitely wasn't so bad that God found a reason to have Uzziah die before then. Because, if God really wanted someone dead, I think last chapter was a good enough example of how, yeah, you'll end up getting into some kind of trouble, and yeah, if God wants you dead, you're gonna die. But, that's not meant to be extended to any particular person or situation in our modern context. That thought that I had. In any case, so Uzziah is king, and let's see here. You're real, but man, sorry. So Uzziah, it says he rebuilt the town of Elath. That is, as it reads in the Greek version. Hebrew says Eloth with an O, which is considered a variant spelling. Sure. And I'm not knowledgeable enough to say why the translators might have gone with what the Greek said instead of the Hebrew. There are various potential reasons why they might choose one thing over another. Could have been some research done in communications with people who, like, individually had some knowledge of the history of Israel and Judah and all that, and they might have said, yeah, it was more common for it to be called this, or anyway, not a big difference in the grand scheme of things, I would say. So yeah, sorry, those early starts to my days, man. Anyway, Uzziah sought God during the days of Zechariah, who taught him to fear God. Note there says, as in Greek and Syriac versions, Hebrew reads, who instructed him in divine visions. That's a little bit more specific and detailed than taught him to fear God. But that would definitely be still within that same general umbrella. Like, fear God is a much broader thing than divine visions. But clearly, I mean, I don't know if this is necessarily the same Zechariah that has a book of the Bible named after him. Could be. Would definitely make sense if there was some connection like that. Or definitely would make sense then that this Zechariah would be able to teach someone, at the very least, to fear God, possibly even to, like, interpret or even seek divine visions. But anyway, so Uzziah at least had someone to teach him well with regards to following God's commands. So, verse 6. Uzziah declared war on the Philistines and broke down the walls of Gath, Jabneh, and Ashdod. Then he built new towns in the Ashdod area and in other parts of Philistia. God helped him in his wars against the Philistines, his battles with the Arabs of Gur, and his wars with the Meunites. The Meunites paid annual tribute to him, and his fame spread even to Egypt, for he had become very powerful. Uzziah built fortified towers in Jerusalem at the corner gate, at the valley gate, and at the angle in the wall. He also constructed forts in the wilderness and dug many water cisterns, because he kept great herds of livestock in the foothills of Judah and on the plains. He was also a man who loved the soil. He had many workers who cared for his farms and vineyards, both on the hillsides and in the fertile valleys. Pausing there for a bit. So, keeping in mind that it said he was successful when he followed God. As long as the king sought guidance from the Lord, God gave him success. So clearly, in this war against the Philistines, he was seeking guidance from the Lord. Now, of course, the Philistines were longtime enemies of God's people. So it's not really any surprise at any given point that there would be war between them. So, a bunch of the Philistine towns were taken over / destroyed, and then Uzziah builds new towns. Also decides to fortify some places, within Judah and Jerusalem in particular. Of course, you want Jerusalem to be... yeah. Yeah, especially with Jerusalem being the capital, you want that to be probably your most fortified city in the kingdom, really. Now, it's talking about his wars against the Philistines, battles with the Arabs of Gur, as in the Greek version. Hebrew reads Gur Baal. Usually Baal is mentioned when it refers to a certain little g god. Not entirely sure why that would have been tied to... It would have been tied to this area of Gur, but... Anyway. Maybe they were Arabs who worshipped the god Baal, and that could have been kind of a rare thing for those Arabs, I don't know. In any case, also a note here at the Meunites, as in the Greek version, Hebrew reads Ammonites. Compare that to 26... Or compare 26:7. Well, okay. So maybe in some of the manuscripts, it says Meunites here, but then says Ammonites in verse 8. I guess, either way could make some sense. If he fought the Meunites and conquered a bunch of them, then yeah, it's no surprise they would pay some tribute to him. But it could have also been a totally separate thing that the Ammonites were paying tribute. Anyway, build fortified towers. Apparently he was a real big fan of farming and growing crops and such. The Hebrew here, where it mentions the foothills of Judah, says the Shephelah. That's pretty much just what they called that region in the Hebrew. But for modern readers, we might... if it read, because he kept great herds of livestock in the Shephelah, that wouldn't as clearly give us a clue as to where that would be or what kind of land it was or anything like that. Okay. I suppose we'll move on to verse 11. Uzziah had an army of well-trained warriors ready to march into battle, unit by unit. This army had been mustered and organized by Jael, the secretary of the army, and his assistant, Maaseiah. They were under the direction of Hananiah, one of the king's officials. These regiments of mighty warriors were commanded by 2,600 clan leaders. The army consisted of 307,500 men, all elite troops. They were prepared to assist the king against any enemy. Uzziah provided the entire army with shields, spears, helmets, coats of mail, bows, and sling stones. And he built structures on the walls of Jerusalem, designed by experts to protect those who shot arrows and hurled large stones from the towers and the corners of the wall. His fame spread far and wide, for the Lord gave him marvelous help, and he became very powerful. Okay, so seems like they were, a decently powerful army, at least, with really more men than it mentioned his father Amaziah having under his command. Not like a ton more, but still more. And it... Sorry. And there aren't too many places in the Bible where it mentions the troops having all of these different bits of equipment. So, they were not only fairly large, but well prepared. At least, relative to armies of the day. Now, this part I find kind of interesting. So there were structures on the walls designed to protect the archers on the walls, presumably, and those who shot arrows and hurled large stones. So, I'm picturing catapult / trebuchet type stuff going on. Would that have generally come from the walls? I mean, I guess if the walls were, thick enough where they would have stood, then sure. Either that or it's coming from just inside the walls and whatever protection was built in there made it even more difficult to shoot anything just closely behind the walls. I'm almost wondering if there were like designed sort of, extra walls upward with like some slight gaps in between for the archers and or the stone hurlers. Speaking of which, there's a note there. So, okay. It says, or to shoot arrows and hurl large stones. Rather than to protect those who shot arrows and hurled large stones, maybe? So, however you read that, clearly these structures on the walls were designed to make things better for archers and the ones hurling stones. So ranged combat was a bit of a specialty in this case. A bit of an emphasis in this design, at least. And perhaps because of some of this strategy and the well-equipped army, or whatever the reason was, Uzziah became pretty well known. And it says he became very powerful. So, I'm not sure which came first in that case, the fame or the power, but, they kind of go hand in hand. In this case, probably. But, then we get to verse 16. But when he had become powerful, he also became proud, which led to his downfall. He sinned against the Lord his God by entering the sanctuary of the Lord's temple and personally burning incense on the incense altar. Azariah the high priest went in after him with 80 other priests of the Lord, all brave men. They confronted King Uzziah and said, "It is not for you, Uzziah, to burn incense to the Lord. This is the work of the priests alone, the descendants of Aaron, who are set apart for this work. Get out of the sanctuary, for you have sinned. The Lord God will not honor you for this." Uzziah, who was holding an incense burner, became furious. But as he was standing there raging at the priest before the incense altar in the Lord's temple, leprosy suddenly broke out on his forehead. When Azariah the high priest and all the other priests saw the leprosy, they rushed him out. And the king himself was eager to get out because the Lord had struck him. So King Uzziah had leprosy until the day he died. He lived in isolation in a separate house, for he was excluded from the temple of the Lord. His son Jotham was put in charge of the royal palace, and he governed the people of the land. The rest of the events of Uzziah's reign, from beginning to end, are recorded by the prophet Isaiah, son of Amos. When Uzziah died, he was buried with his ancestors. His grave was in a nearby burial field belonging to the kings, for the people said he had leprosy, and his son Jotham became the next king. So he was buried in a separate spot even because he had leprosy. Really, maybe not like an entirely different plot of land, but like kind of in a separate little corner of it or something like that maybe. Although it did say a nearby burial field. Anyway, close to his ancestors still, so it's not like he was given a disgraceful burial, as happened with other kings that the people considered to not be very honorable. So yeah. Things went well until he got proud and... Now, it doesn't even say that he started worshiping any other gods. But he broke one of God's commands by trying to burn incense in the temple, which was only supposed to be done by the priests. Now, where it says leprosy there's a note. Could be read as contagious skin disease. Hebrew word used here and throughout this passage can describe various skin diseases. But it was still the same kind of thing that there were all sorts of laws about. That there were all sorts of cleansing procedures and rules about separating those people who had leprosy and... Yeah. But he apparently continued to have leprosy throughout the rest of his life. Suppose that was God's way of punishing him for disobeying the command about burning incense. So, I don't know if I really have too many other thoughts on this chapter. Overall, fairly good king, it seems. Not even a Joash kind of situation where it starts off well and then he severely tapers off or anything and turns away from God. It's just, he got proud, tried to do something himself that he shouldn't have done, and then had to be separated and maybe wasn't even as much playing the role of, or playing might not be the right word, wasn't really so much even in the role of king after having leprosy. And no surprise, his son Jotham, who was already sort of in charge of things, or some things at least, became king after Uzziah. So, yeah, that's all I got for 2 Chronicles 26. I didn't necessarily rush that because of the Twitch ad break, but it did perhaps play a little bit of a factor. Anyway, okay. So there's our Bible study portion of things for the evening. Alright, I'm gonna have to move some stuff around for the Steam games and such. Cause yeah, the way that they just show up on my computer is not necessarily conducive to the way I would normally have things set up. So demo options. Let me well, I can pull those up on my computer. I would say during the ad break, but honestly, they're already... I already kind of have Steam open just in the background at the moment. But first, before I get into any of that, I think it's time for a little bit of that randomized exercise we rolled for early on. I guess I'll do squats first, because that's the first one listed. Meh. But yeah, I can't exactly, like... I don't think I really have the capabilities of running any kind of, like, quick poll or anything in the meantime as far as which demo options I have and which one I should play. Okay. But exercise time first, then I'll get to the demos. I will say, one of them is a Marvel associated title. I think that one's sort of a, like, I guess you might call it a beat 'em up sort of game. At least I think that's what it's supposed to be. I only got some little glimpses of these demos before I downloaded them. So, can't say for sure I know too much about each individual one. So there's that. I downloaded one that's more like a platformer kind of game. One that was very story heavy. I think it even was like one of the tags that it had was like walking simulator sort of thing. So pretty much entirely story driven, really, almost in the vein of like a Journey or one of those kind of games if you're familiar with that. And then honestly, I completely forget what type of game the other one was, but it was also a sort of different genre from the others that I just mentioned. So anyway, I've completely lost track of my squats and how many I'm on. I'm just gonna hope that that's an even number and say we're done. Okay. Let me change pinned comments and stuff on Twitch so I can have a reminder of my exercises. Well, now just one exercise left for the stream. Thank you, Seth, for reposting that so I can pin it. Okay, yeah. So demos I have available include... Maybe I should visit the store page of... maybe each one of them, but especially the one that I couldn't remember what kind of game it was. So the one I couldn't remember, or couldn't remember the description of, I guess I should say, is called Parasite Duality Unbound. Okay, I'm trying to figure out how exactly... trying to figure out the best way to show you. Maybe if I... trying to... Alright, tell you what. Let me just go ahead and maximize my Steam window here, and then when I go to this... it'll pretty much show you what's going on. So, this is the one game here, Parasite Duality Unbound. Kind of tile movement, almost Fire Emblem looking thing. I guess tactical RPG or strategic RPG is how it describes it there. So yeah, I guess in the veins of like a Fire Emblem type thing. Now, what other games? So that was the one that was more the like walking sim kind of thing is this Opus Prism Peak. So very heavily story driven. Probably not particularly like action-packed gameplay per se, but yes, main character is a photographer. You're probably going around just trying to like, you know, get some good photos and stuff. Tags include atmospheric, lore-rich, walking simulator, and indie. No surprise for the indie tag. Yeah. So there's that. The others I downloaded for this particular purpose, at least. Marvel Cosmic Invasion. Okay, yes. Described as a beat-em-up, arcade-style superhero, obviously, because it's Marvel, with pixel graphics. So, yeah, like, think Streets of Rage, but Marvel characters. And again, all of these were ones that I found in the Next Fest list, at least what I think was that. I clicked the thing that said Next Fest and then scrolled through what came up. And this is the final one that I downloaded. It's called Constance. This one's more of a platformer type game, even has a Metroidvania tag to it. So, kind of has hints of like a Hollow Knight-ish experience, is the impression I get. So I think sometime over the course of the next couple of weeks, as it might be possible, I will probably try some of these games, try all these games out if I can, and they don't like pull the demos. At least you didn't look at the Next Fest like I did. I have a list of 17. Yeah, I mean, I did look through a number of games that I didn't download the demos for. But, yeah. Next Fest ends on Monday at 1 p.m., so they most likely will pull them. So it's probably just going to be between tonight and tomorrow after Kingdom Hearts. Okay. Noted. So... I could... Oh yeah, also, with the way I had my, chat window showing up in OBS, like, it won't really display correctly now that I had to move some stuff around for this part of the stream. So, alright. We have a vote for Constance. I was considering playing that first anyway. Looked under board game, roguelike, card game, puzzle, turn... But yeah, there were a lot that had the roguelike tag. That I saw on the Next Fest page. Plays best with a controller, you say? Okay. Oh yeah, let me... Hold up, let me ditch my background music here. Because the game has its own. Alrighty. I have connected my Xbox controller to my computer so I could do this. I mean, it looks like the language is in English. I don't think that's going to be a real problem here. English, yeah. Okay. And I guess we'll start. You know, realistically, I could record this stuff and do, like, first impressions kind of videos. But, you know what? What does it hurt? Well, now it's not letting me move my mouse off of that very well. Oh, okay. I guess if I click, then it will. No need to necessarily. Yeah. Honestly, I hadn't really intended to record this, so I don't think I will. I don't need to record everything. Alrighty. New game. Hang on. But yeah, I mean, they do... The archived live streams do go to YouTube anyway. Okay, anywho. Left stick to move. Alrighty. I am moving. What does this do? Okay. Some sort of like meditation or something. I could see that doing some healing if I find other locations like this maybe. Welcome to the Constance Next Fest demo. Oh, specifically a Next Fest demo. I wasn't sure if these demos were made specifically for Next Fest, or if it was just like Steam kind of saying, hey, we've got some games that are coming up soon, and this time of year, we're gonna let you check them out a little early. Next Fest demo means they go away at the end of Next Fest. Okay. Alright, A is jump. I broke some things. I'm hoping that's not a problem. It seems to be giving me stuff for breaking the things. Besides, like, what gamer doesn't break things? Use right stick to look around. Ah, okay. The character's eyes don't necessarily move. Whoa. Well, I have fallen. And Now I am not sure what to do. Ah. Of course. Developers specifically make them for Next Fest? Okay. I suppose that's not entirely surprising. Alright, I got some monies. Alright. Lever has been... Well, I would say pulled, but not really. Just flipped. Made sure this time... Yeah. Alright. I imagine it would take a while before it really got into the more difficult stuff. That was just purely accidental that I fell down there. I was trying to hit the one orb thing to get the stuff from it and... hello. Wait a second. Do we know each other? You seem awfully familiar. Oh, your hair. I found you. I was told to send anyone with purple hair to the foundry. They're having issues with their pipes, I think. Just continue this path to the right. It leads straight to the foundry. If you ever get lost, you can always open your mini-map with right stick. I guess they'd call that R3. Good luck, and be careful, please. There are some mean robots ahead. So, how do I get out of here now? That's right. Trigger to evade. Okay. Ah, okay. Bit of almost like an inkling kind of dodge thing going on there. Alright, sorry. Making sure I look at chat as well. Last time I waited till the second to last day and got to do around the same amount of... Like that uses cooking rather than fighting. Huh. Use right trigger to dive and dash. Yeah. Okay. Ah. So that can also get me through some of the thorns and stuff. Blocked for demo. Ah, I can't go this way in the demo. Oh well. Some demos don't make it real obvious that, you know, there's content that's lacking until you just get to a certain point and it's like, hey, there's nothing more here. I don't really have anything against that approach or this one. Just noting some differences is all. I wonder what I'll get to use this money on eventually. Hello. This is much more colorful and vibrant here. Stained glass window with some flowers and stuff. Hello there, fellow traveler. The name's Robert, a roaming photographer extraordinaire. I capture memories of all the places I visit. You might even call me a journalist, haha. So, what kind of camera do you use? What do you mean you don't have a camera? This is a travesty. Blasphemy, even. How would anyone remember a place if they ever wanted to revisit it? Luckily for you, I always carry a few extras. Here, take this one. Look at that. It's even loaded with a few snapshots already. Camera unlocked. Press that button to take a snapshot. I usually just call it select. Why don't you give this bad boy a try and capture us in this room? Just press select. Okay. Do I really want to save that, though? What if I discard it? Not happy with your shot, huh? Happens to the best of us. Just try again until it feels right. Just press select. Okay, I guess there's not really gonna... So they planned on you doing that, but wanted to make it obvious that, like, hey, you should save this. Okay. Oh, and then I guess it shows up on your map as a point of reference. Okay, cool. There we go. This looks great. Oh, and do you see that light stone at the top? As long as you hold on to this snapshot, you'll always remember where it was. And don't worry about your snapshots. They're reusable. Whenever you delete one, you can use it again. Now get out there and capture the world's mysteries on your map, one shot at a time. I don't know, just that little bit of the character's voice that I heard made me, whoa, okay, don't attack that. Probably don't want to touch it either. Oh, jeez, yeah. Bad things. Nope, come on. I swear I'm not this bad at platforming. It's the timing that's my problem. I'm trying to react quickly to something that doesn't necessarily require a quick reaction. I don't think that's going to go well if I try it. Alright, now what if I press left bumper? Aha. Okay. So it does stockpile a little bit of healing for you after a while. Oh? What is this? We are painting something. New brush technique unlocked. Paint stab. Thrust your painted brush to damage enemies and temporarily remove corruption. Can be used horizontally and vertically. Press left stick to input direction and B to perform the paint stab. This technique consumes paint. Really now? Never would have guessed. And now I can't go back that way right now. Hiya! That was the wrong thing. B, not right trigger. Right trigger is dash. B is stab. Okay, health. Yay. Stab. And a stab. And a big stab. Okay. Hiya. Can I... Huh? Yeah. Okay. Ouch. Should I be trying to get back up there? I don't know. Oof. Oh, hey. Stab. And what's this? Heart piece collected. Nice. Collect 3 pieces to increase max health. Okay. Nice to have. But for now, I think I should probably just go back this way. Yeah. Okay, at least the paint seems to recover pretty quickly. Oh, I can't go another direction, can I? I don't think so. Okay, well. Then back through all this. Aha! Okay. I can stab those enemies and then they're less dangerous. Temporarily. And now I can stab that and get through here. Oh. I need to stab both of these things. There we go. Okay. That's better. Really? Fine. I'm like, I don't like you charging towards me. Okay. Inspirations. Paint overload increases max paint, becomes stronger with each neighboring inspiration. Okay. That probably takes me up the elevator. I don't think there's anything else I could do right now. Oh, hello, milady. Did Bertram send you here? I knew I could rely on that bubbly gentleman. Pardon my forwardness on this matter, but these are desperate times. Our main elevator has been broken for quite a while now. To repair it, the pipes have to be filled with paint again. You seem to be quite experienced in the matter. Do you think you could take a look at the leak? Eureka! You are a godsend. Thank you so much. Just follow the pipes. Sooner or later, you should find the issue. Report back to me when you find anything. Alright. So, oh. Just follow the pipes. Gotcha. Okay. How exactly am I supposed to follow the pipes? Okay. Huh. Yeah, that's a thing I can do. That's a thing I can but shouldn't do. And hiya. Okay, let's try that again. Hip, bip. Okay. There's a pipe going this way. Hello. That's what I wanted to do the whole time. Okay, that comes back pretty quickly. How? I was like, how am I supposed to get through that any quicker? But okay. I have taken quite a bit of damage here. Now, which way do I go from here? Well, I can't go this way, so that answers that question. What? Oh, there's a spiky wheel thing there. I don't know if that's necessarily how you're supposed to handle that enemy, but I guess it's one valid way to try to do so. Huh. Oh, doggone it. Okay. Almost got me. It's just a little too far away for him, though. Okay, not quite sure where that leads. Also thinking I might want to check this out first. Whoa. Moving platforms. Fun. Oh, you want to fight, apparently. Ouch. Oh, come on. You know, one of these times maybe I should see what the stab does to and just like a regular enemy like that. Can I seriously not even like get up there? I don't think I can even jump up that high. That's not particularly helpful then. Neither is falling to my death. Okay, can I just not do anything here right now? Alright, well, I'll look into other possibilities then. Okay, so... Hiya! 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 Jeez. Gotta be quicker than that, I guess. Okay. Tutorial, corruption, careful. Certain abilities cost paint. You've used up all your paint and are now corrupted. In this state, using abilities will drain your health. Wait for your paint reservoir to refill. Oh. And your hair turns black then, and interesting. Oh, jeez. Yep, that's bad. How am I supposed to get through all that before I run out of time, though? Ah, okay, I guess that's a thing to do. Paint flask, sorry. Collect 3 flasks to increase maximum paint. Okay. So it's like the hearts, but for paint. Hiya. Okay. Okay. Yeah, dodging really helps in combat. Surprise, surprise. Okay, that's a lot of stuff over there. But what's here? Okay. Now I'm just higher up on that same thing that I was at before that I thought I couldn't really get through, and now what? There's nothing else there, really? Okay. Did seem like there was some platform as I was falling down there, but I don't know for sure if that's something that would be worth getting. Well, let me just investigate again to be sure. Well, if I can actually land on the thing. Oh, come on. It's just a little too far to the left. There. Just a big stash of money. Okay, well. It was something, I guess. No, shoot. Oh, jeez. All the way back here? Alright, what do we got here? Secret? I don't know if it's actually supposed to be a secret thing or what, but whoa. Okay. There we go. Alright. But now I'm like, wait, did I miss something? I don't... I don't like when it feels like I'm missing things. Am I supposed to be able to, like, kind of grab onto that? Or, I'm not sure what's going on there. Alright, well, I shall move... Ow. I was not safe there. Anyway. I shall move along in this direction. Okay. Yep, there we go. Okay. Take it easy here for a moment. Oh, geez. Okay. There. That works. Also, I keep hearing some sounds that I don't think are coming from the game. Makes me wonder if there's, like, Steam notifications pinging or something. Oh, jeez. Okay, bad stuff all around there. Okay, let me just, hang out here for a moment. Hiya! I did not jump up high enough. Probably. Huh. Yeah. Alright. Another heart piece. Oh. I only collected 2 of those, though. But, oh well. Not gonna argue with more health. Hooray! Alright, now I guess I go back this way. To the part that I was like, wait, am I going to be missing out on something? No, that was the something that I would have missed out on had I just gone down this way. Oh, phooey. Okay. Could get some gold over here. Well, come on now. Alright. Might not really be worth it. But you know what? One more try. Yeah, okay. Okay, the stab does not go through the window shield thing. Okay. By the way, I do not plan to play this any more than, like, about an hour. Essentially until the next ad break would hit. Was not expecting that, but okay. It's a boss fight. But yeah, I guess there's also whenever the demo ends. I gotta learn to dodge better instead of just waiting and getting hit. Ugh, hello. I'm like, how am I even supposed to get hits in, but I guess the opportunities are just kind of limited. Oh, you flipped around. Why did you flip around like that? Ah, okay. That's definitely an attack opportunity there. Some demos take a while. Yes, they do. And I think it's... my plan is essentially either end of the demo or roughly an hour, because I don't know if I want to spend much more than an hour on a single demo. When I have multiple to go through like that. Whoa. Oh, great. It's corrupted. Which means I gotta stab it first before doing any regular attacks. Oh, phooey. I should heal a little bit. Oh, doggone it. There. Begone, Cubicus. Alright. Okay, got some gold and some sort of, like, gem shard looking thing. Hiya? Oh. There we go, okay. Pipe successfully filled with paint. But that, I think, was just the one side. There's probably still more to do over in this direction. Nope, never mind. Blocked for demo. Okay. Hello, milady. How may I be of... By Clara the Creator, what are my rusty eyes witnessing? You did it! A pipe was repaired! Eureka! My deepest thanks to you, brave little purple-haired woman. I feel very ashamed to ask for even more favors, but... Do you think you could have a look at the other two pipes as well? We can, of course, also rest for a moment. You must be exhausted, I'm sure. So be it. Let's take a breather and return very soon to the task at hand. Thank you so very much. And that was the full demo. Okay. Oh, and it keeps track of your time? Interesting. If you would like to follow the development of the game or give feedback on the demo, we'd love to welcome you on our Discord. And you can wishlist the game here. Okay, well, that is Constance for you. And I think we're pretty close to hitting another ad break. Not 100% sure how close at the moment exactly, but close. Nice and short. Yeah, probably would have been even shorter if I didn't fumble the platforming so much. 10 more minutes. Okay. So rather than get into another demo before the ad break, I might just go ahead, run the ads, do exercise stuff, and then get into one of the other demos. Which, as a reminder, are Marvel Cosmic Invasion, sort of beat-em-up type game, Opus Prism Peak, story-driven walking sim, as it's sort of described, probably all about taking pictures of things, which would fit a little bit with the camera that showed up in Constance, but anyway, if we wanted to have a slightly tangential theme connecting the two. Or option number 3, Parasite Duality Unbound, which was the kind of strategy RPG sort of option. Yes, I realize there are other games in my library, but those are not Next Fest connected games. Next Fest related, I guess I should say. Anyway, okay. So I'll give y'all the time during the ad break to think about which of those you might prefer to see. Or at least it's ad break for Twitch. Less so for YouTube folks. Okay. Just getting things kind of set up again for all that. I could use a little water. Might as well get up out of my chair, ready for some exercise and whatnot. I can get my background music going again. Alright. So the remaining exercise is jumping jacks in some multiple of 6. Really probably should have just gone to this scene while I was doing all that stuff. Oh well. Maybe it's just because I moved the OBS window to a different monitor, but that looks so much more, at least for a moment, it looked so much more blurry in this scene. Okay. I gotta say, I'm kind of glad that the exercises that came up today were less arm oriented. My right arm in particular has been not feeling great. I don't know. I've got this like twinge of pain that keeps coming back over and over throughout the day, and you know, using it, using the muscles within it, especially my forearm, doesn't really seem to help that feeling. Anyway, okay, jumping jacks in some set of 6 here. I could go on for quite a while, so I don't know. 30 or so seems fair enough. In fact, okay, I could do, if I thought about it at the moment, I could have done some other roll for a multiplier on the multiplier, if that makes any sense. Multiplier on the set number, I guess it would be. Anyway, okay, jumping jacks, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 18, 19, 20, 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 30 seems like a good enough number. Because I don't want to just keep going with it for a real long time. We have games to explore. Okay. Unpinning that message. And bringing down background music again. All right. Seth wants to see Parasite, apparently. Okay, I mean, I have no objections. All right, sure. Flipping reality. I don't know for sure if this is a controller experience or a mouse and keyboard type. Dear player, welcome to Parasite Duality Unbound. You're about to play an early demo showcasing the game's core battle mechanics. The full game is still in active development, and there's much more yet to come. We hope you enjoy this first look, and we'd greatly appreciate hearing your thoughts. Thank you for playing and supporting our work. Warm regards, Mistold Games. Okay. So far, I'm not seeing any controller responsiveness. Display. Graphics, sound seems fine. Controls currently unavailable. Okay. Language is in English. Good to know. Oh, wait, no. Don't want to exit the game. Okay, well, then I guess this is gonna be a mouse and keyboard type thing. Experience a snippet of Parasite Duality Unbound's campaign. I guess we should probably do the tutorial thing first. This seems like the tutorial. Battle basics. Okay. There you are. I was beginning to wonder if you had lost your way. The fog of crisis clouds my senses. I require your vision to see through this murk. Identify those who carry the seed of crisis. Lead me to them, and together we will cleanse this blight with my blade. Seed of Crisis. Each level contains entities marked with Seed of Crisis. To complete the level, you only need to eliminate these specific entities before time runs out. Before time runs out, oh jeez. Combat operation. Click on any... Sorry. Click on any active allied unit to initiate operation. Each unit can move and attack once per turn. After these actions, the unit will become inactive for the rest of the turn. Units refresh and become active again at the start of each new turn. Okay. Standard, you know, RPG strategy stuff. It is my turn to act. Select me to begin our operation. Choose a tile within my movement range. Precision is key to victory. Okay. Let's move here, then we could probably attack. Select a target within my attack range. Let us strike decisively. Ta-da. I have expended my actions for now. End our turn so I may restore my vitality. Okay, so I could click end turn or press E. Confirm to end turn. I guess I could pick the option to not show that again. I doubt there will be too many times when I want to change my mind on that. Although, just in case I accidentally press E when I'm trying to press something else. Ouch. The battlefield has two sides. Press space or click the recon flip button at the top left corner to switch between them. Makes me wonder what the different sides do. Top left corner. Oh, yeah, that. Your duality vision surpasses mortal sight. Use the recon exchange to peer into the other side. Okay. Good. Only one enemy left. Command my doppelganger to eliminate it swiftly. Success. What is that? Fixed point exchange. Exchange rune. Select a coordinate to exchange planes. Okay, maybe it'll explain that here in a bit. Remember, Commander, the battlefield has two sides. Press space for a quick recon exchange and evaluate both sides of the battlefield. You possess a unique talent that allows you to exchange space between two planes. Activate your duality exchange abilities from the top left corner to alter the battlefield. Your duality exchange abilities have been restored. Alter our surroundings to create a clear path onward. Exchange rune. Select one of the water tiles that blocks my way. A timely duality exchange shapes victory from chaos. Lead me to eradicate the seeds of crisis on both fronts. And attack. Be gone. I'm guessing yeah, no. Definitely cannot end my turn there. Or I guess I could end my turn there. Oh. Okay. Can I... Okay, I'm trying to figure out how I know how much movement I have left. Aside from just hovering over and seem to be out of mana. Yeah, I mean, I kind of figured that... so I wouldn't be able to use the exchange... Yeah, okay, I can't do the exchange rune, because that costs an energy. Okay. Maybe if I just end my turn now... Exchange energy, yes. Using exchange runes, consume exchange energy. When the player's turn starts, you will get to redraw 3 new runes, increase the upper limit of exchange energy by 1, and refill the energy to the new limit. Ah, okay. So the first turn you only get 1 energy, but then the second turn it'll go up to 2, and then the third turn you'll get... Okay. Gotcha. So if I exchange this tile and then this one. Ooh, hello. Officer and doppelganger. Officers and their doppelgangers maintain a precarious alliance, functioning as both allies and adversaries. They cooperate effectively only when out of each other's sight. When they are on the same side, their abilities are nullified and the doppelganger will actively seek to eliminate your officer. To safeguard them, a point exchange will be executed at the end of the turn. Did not realize that would happen. But perhaps that was intentional. Anyway, it didn't seem to stop me from doing what I had planned there. Soul Art Agent. Survivor from the destroyed planet Kurich? I don't know. Can manipulate soul power to generate protective shields, blocking damage from crisis and other soul arts. Deployment phase. During the deployment phase, you can deploy your units onto highlighted tiles on the battlefield. Each battle has a deployment limit, so choose your team wisely to tackle the challenges ahead. An agent awaits deployment, Commander. Send them forth. We need all available strength. So I place that here, and there we go. Good. Now let us begin. Ready. Confirm. Unit attributes. Capabilities are defined by hit points, attack, arcane, defense, and movement. Some units possess unique abilities. To activate an ability, select the unit and either press the middle mouse button or click the ability button next to the unit's profile icon. Agent ability. Shield agent can obtain shield through their ability, greatly enhancing their defense capability. Shield, temporary HP that lasts for a round. The officer and their doppelganger have abilities as well. Try them out. The battle is yours to command. Guide us wisely. I trust your judgment. What's on this side? Okay, well, let me go ahead and move this guy here and attack. I don't think I necessarily want to exchange any tiles. But I guess I could use the barrier. Don't know how necessary it is, but I figure I might as well try it out. Oh, I could put that on him, or maybe there's a limit to the range. Okay. Gilbert, let's move you here, I suppose. And, ooh, back attack. Nice. Surround consume. You just triggered surround consume. If any unit gets cornered, surrounded by map edges, hostile units, or obstacles, and is directly attacked, they will take true damage equal to attacker's arcane attribute. Okay. And I guess maybe that's in addition to the normal attack? Now the doppelganger, I'm assuming, can move like this. The unit has been blessed. Moving to a place with sparkles can trigger a variety of positive effects, yeah. Actually, here's a thought. Do a fixed point exchange, right there. Haha! You're surrounded now. Kablam! Although I guess maybe it... Oh, I thought for a second it did 0 damage. Reward. Got an arrow agent. Survivor from the destroyed planet Mavina. This agent can manipulate soul power to create devastating arrows, penetrating the barrier's crisis from a long distance and with a wide range. Alright, deployment phase. Obstacles are blockades that can be destroyed by attacks. Use obstacles and terrain features strategically to set up opportunities for consume, which instantly eliminates surrounded units. Attack range to AoE. Arrow agent is a ranged unit, specializing in impairing enemies from a safe distance. Ranged attacks targeting method and effective range. Attack spreading method and size. Yeah. Their ability can increase the AoE size for their next attack, dealing damage to multiple targets. Confirm. Okay. It seems like it wants me to deploy this one. And yeah, that's all I can do. Or at least that's all I have space for. Start the battle. Okay, so it seems to me that I should take this ranger here and attack from a distance like this. Although, attack Rain of Light. Gain +1 max AoE range until the end of the next attack. I'm wondering if that would just, like, also then get rid of this stuff. Might be worth a shot, I guess. Okay, so now... attack. Okay. Well, there's that enemy gone. Now, about this one. How do I want to handle this? That's still water there, so... I'm guessing I want to swap one of these, I'm just not sure which. Let's go with this one. Because that still allows more movement on this side for the moment. Now, does attacking this statue cause anything negative? Or... nope. Okay, it's just gone now. Alright, I'll flip this around, and I guess I'll have you attack this thing. And... seems like it won't let you move after you attack, which is fairly common. I'm not going to say all of these types of games do that, but many of them do. Okay, now, I think I want to move you over here, and well, that attack didn't do much. Actually, it didn't really do anything. But I am thinking I will do a fixed point exchange on this location and have my ranger... never mind, ranger can't quite reach there. Although... oh, this is just movement. So, move there. Attack there. And I suppose that'll end my turn for now. Because I definitely don't want to get Gilbert on the same side as the doppelganger. Oh, shadow skill. Make a unit unable to take their turn until next round. Oh, jeez. Yeah, let's do that. You can't move now. Okay, now I'll end the turn. Or actually maybe not. Well, that's just water, so that's not going to help anything if I change that. Okay. Then, yes, I will end the turn. Haha. Alright. More attacking that's still not doing any damage. Why is it not doing any damage? Do I, like, have to have it surrounded or something? Not sure I get how this works. Yeah, high armor enemies can mitigate damage from attacks. In this case, you can utilize Surround Consume to eliminate them. Right. And an attack on the... Yep. Okay. So I need to intentionally move myself now to make it become surrounded. I guess. Actually... Deselect. Gonna move you back here. And you... I'm not quite sure where I'm gonna move you. Maybe I'll have you attack this, and then... move you... here. Oh, right. You can't move after attacking. Duh. Okay, the absolute need to do the whole surround consume thing is... I was not prepared for it, let's put it that way. Yes, I know. Actually, I wonder... Nope, that's a regular tile. Darn it. Nope. Can't have you move there. Okay. No, but that's just another water tile, so I can't... Huh. How am I supposed to get you surrounded? Okay, I'll move you there, and you there for now. Okay. It's just noting here that you can undo movement as long as you haven't attacked. Alright. Let me see what it does this turn. Okay. Now I might actually be able to surround it. Because I can swap this out. Oh, nope. That... It still has somewhere to go. Darn it. But what if I move you here and then exchange it? Okay. There we go. Jeez. Making that an absolute requirement, I mean, I could understand in some situations, but I don't know, it just felt like maybe that was a little early to have that happen. Soul Art Agent, survivor from the destroyed planet Phalon. This agent can manipulate soul power to travel through space, launching attacks from the direction least expected by the enemies. We've reached the heart of the invasion. Eliminate all seed carriers, and our mission for the Exodus will be complete. Chained Consume. Surround Consume can target groups of units when units of the same faction are connected and surrounded. They qualify for a Chained Consume. This powerful mechanic allows you to consume all affected units in one go with a single attack. Okay. Phalon Phantom Agent's ability allows them to traverse through enemies and obstacles. Yeah. You only need to eliminate Seed of Crisis to finish a level. There's only one on the field. Can you come up with a good plan? Well, actually, I suppose there's one on this side and one on that side. Okay. So I think the assumption here is that you use this guy over here. And then I guess I can flip this to potentially deploy a doppelganger. Or maybe I could just use the shield agent here. It doesn't seem like I need to sort of teleport around so much on this side. But if I selected the Phantom Agent, I kind of assume it would be a doppelganger. I don't know. What happens if I do that? He's no longer deployed on this side. Okay. Rather have him on the other side. So, we'll go with the shield agent over here. Yeah. Okay. Ready. Enemy abilities. Some enemy units can use abilities. They will announce their abilities at the beginning of battle and the end of their turn, then cast them before their next action. You can take actions like moving units or flipping tiles to break these abilities. Okay. Ah, yeah. Okay. So, that very much seems like it wants me to do this. Okay. You can... Phantom Assault. Select an empty area within range, then move to that area. Yeah. You go over here. You go here. Oh, yeah. Also, double time. Make an exhausted allied unit able to act again. Huh. Interesting. But let me try attacking with this unit first. That all looks like enough damage. So, hi-ya. Okay. You see, that almost makes it a bit more puzzle-like, having this consume mechanic. And also having it be so, like, crucial to the strategy of the battles. Anyway. Hiya. You have done well, Commander. Okay, what do I get? Archives. Invaluable record of the rise and fall of a civilization. Oh, and that was the whole demo, I guess. Well, or maybe that was just a tutorial, duh. Thanks for playing the battle tutorial. Aside from combat, we've also prepared an exploration mode for this demo, which you can experience by selecting New Game from the main menu. Exploration mode introduces deeper progression and character building systems. Awakening. Agents grow stronger by accumulating awakening points from defeated enemies, unlocking their hidden potential. Combat styles. Discover and switch between unique combat styles to master new tactical possibilities. Echoes. Defeating foes grants a chance to collect echoes, signature abilities from defeated enemies, which you can equip on agents. And relics. Unearth legendary relics hidden in special map regions, capable of reshaping the strategy and playstyle of your entire team. If I hit continue, what happens? Oh, hello. There's another character option here. Let's have a look-see, shall we? Commander, swap deployment complete. Establishing comms with the field officer on standby. In the meantime, allow me to reconfirm the operational plan. The operation will take place in... I almost wanted to call that Avalanche. Anyway, the operation will take place in Avanche, a region under observational protection. A large-scale crisis outbreak has destabilized this sector. This severely interferes with our mission to search for and recover world souls. Therefore, eliminating crisis and restoring regional stability is of the highest priority. Please remain vigilant for Ferris activity. If any Ferris units are encountered, they are to be eliminated. Signal interference is below 2%. Real-time comms established. The operation begins now, Commander. Okay. Michaela. I assume that's how that's pronounced. Commander, since this is your first time leading an operation in the field, allow me to offer a few suggestions. The crisis activity here is intense, and it's clouding our real-time view of the battlefield. We should proceed with caution, gathering intels and resources first. There are also a few places in this area perfect for setting up polarity posts. We can use them as anchors to push back the invasion, one step at a time. However, if the Ferris teams are still prowling this area, they'll come for us like wolves to the scent of blood. We shouldn't delay. Your orders, Commander. Exploration map. Okay. In this demo, you'll journey to an uncharted region called Avanche. Man. Force of habit really wants me to say Avalanche there. Anyway. Searching for a way to repel the crisis invasion for the remnants of Earth. Your mission is to locate the embers of civilization and help them hold the line against crisis. Along the way, you'll uncover resources and opportunities that strengthen your long-term campaign. Seize as many as you can. If the pace feels slow, you can hold control to speed things up. Holding control will also skip through dialogue automatically. An unexplored region lies ahead. Hold WASD or drag the middle mouse button to adjust your view. Click a zone to advance the team. Yeah, not really a whole lot to see right now. Although it's taking me way down here. Which makes me think that's the direction I'm probably going to end up going for the most part. Okay. Ooh, what's this? Rare material. That's a wall. Or at least it looks like a wall. Rare material. Cool. Rare material. This is a supply that is essential for developing technologies beyond our current cognition. After returning to the HQ, you can use it to build facilities or research new technologies. Yeah, I recognize the wall says mysterious encounter. I can't go there because it's water. Okay, what about over this way? Wandering Echo. Detected a wandering echo that can evolve your agents. Ferris Echo. Signs of battle are still fresh. They're definitely still wreaking havoc here. This vile echo disgusts me, but the soul power that remains can still be of use to us. Guide it back to the light, Commander. Interplanar Vanguard. Gain passive plane crossing shield. When the holder traverses to another plane, they gain 6 shield. Okay. I assume that means it triggers, like, if you have a unit on one side of a battle, and then you flip that tile so they're on the other side. Echoes. Equipments that enhance agents. Different echo colors represent different gameplay themes. You can mix and match echoes to either further specialize an agent or make up their vulnerabilities. Echoes can be viewed and equipped. Doesn't equipped have 2 Ps anyway. Echoes can be viewed and equipped in the operatives window accessible from the escape menu. Meh. It's said in here, right? Growth. Maybe. Oh, echoes. Maybe I need to... Yeah, okay. That's how that works. I don't know for sure if I want the main character to have that, though, because I don't necessarily want them and their doppelganger on the same side of the battle too much. Meanwhile, though, I'll give you a little more attack. You know what? Everybody gets a little more attack. Oh, I guess maybe you have to spend... Like, you have to do it that many times for the stat to actually go up. Anyway, I'm thinking I might actually give the shield agent here the Interplanar Vanguard Echo. Okay. It looks like we've... Yeah, I don't think going back here is going to do anything at the moment. So, mysterious encounter. Rune Gate, a wall of seamless white stone bars... Sorry, a wall of seamless white stone bars the valley. It rises abruptly from the earth, more a feature of the landscape than a work of masonry. The only mark upon its face is a dense filigree of engravings that glimmer with a faint stellar blue light, outlining the shape of a gate. Okay. It seems the villagers sealed this gate with soul power to keep crisis from spreading. Let's see if there's another way through. Oh, suddenly. There's a crisis fluctuation behind us, Commander. Prepare for battle. Okay. And... there we go. I was like... how do I enter the battle? Okay. Got the doppelganger over here. Alrighty. Let's see. This seems like a decent situation for the arrow agent to be deployed right about here. Over here, I think I'll just go with the shield agent. Man. Okay. Ready. Alrighty. I'm a little curious, like, what exactly would be considered this enemy's back? If anything. I should have looked at the, like, one special thing. Kind of like this troop has the soul barrier. And now... attack. Of course it still has 1 health left. What does this do? Profaned Flame. Summon a Profaned Flame field on a plain tile. Oh. When entered or the occupier's turn starts, apply a burn effect. When the holder's turn starts, take 3 damage. Okay. Alrighty. Archer. Oh, it's not gonna let me attack it like that. Hang on a sec. I don't really know if I'm gonna be able to attack it just yet. Or at least not in a way that would actually deal any damage. I do think I will flip this tile. That way it makes eventual surrounding of this troop easier, of that enemy, I should say. Alright. You can go there, I guess. Summon a Gracious Flame field on a plain tile. Gracious Flame, when entered or the apply Fervor effect, grant +2 defense to the occupier. Okay. So yeah, that's kind of the opposite of the other thing. Good. I think I'm just gonna do that for now. So yeah, immune to the first damage received in each battle. Oh, if it's just the first bit of damage, then I'll just go ahead and attack, and then it's done deflecting things. Okay. And that, I believe, will end my turn. Okay, I'll admit I wasn't quite expecting that move. Alrighty, doppelganger attack. Goodbye to that enemy. Wouldn't necessarily be able to move that one where I want. Okay, let me move you here. See if this will help me out at all. Hiya. Yeah, okay. There's a little damage. Also, let's give you some fervor. And then have you attack. Oh, I guess the fervor wasn't really all that necessary then. Rune Swordsman Echo. Gain passive opening deflection. Immune the first damage received in every battle. Nice. Okay. Eliminating enemies has a chance to drop echoes. Each enemy type has a unique echo, which has the enemy's signature ability or characteristic, bringing drastic changes to the equipping operative. Try to get a variety of echoes to build your team. Okay, cool. And the reward is breach points, which is a currency. Okay. Used to open interplanar tunnels. The more you have, the greater your capacity to teleport resources from other worlds. Who is this? A splendid battle, warriors. Thank you for ending the torment of these poor souls. I did not expect to find such skilled fighters within the blockade. I know not which clan you belong to, but hear my plea. The vine curse beyond the blockade is completely out of control. Lend my clan your strength, brave ones. I ask that you cross the blockade and put an end to those walking calamities. Regrettably, I cannot join you. My clan has greater need of me elsewhere. Please, take this. Runic Keystone. A fractured runic keystone that hums with residual power. Just enough to stir the wards of the Northern Gate. The inscription of this stone will allow a warrior to pass freely through the bulwark. Should you find the fight beyond your strength, no one will fault you for falling back to this side. But my gut tells me we will meet again. I hope then that our hands will hold drinking horns and roasted meat, not hafts and hilts. Farewell for now, warriors. Perfect command, Commander. You're far better than I imagined. But, Commander, I sense that warrior is already stained by too much power from Crisis. She may be strong, but a mortal soul cannot bear such a burden forever. Okay. Honestly, I don't think I'm going to have too much more time left. And I don't know how much longer this demo is. Obviously, the next thing to do is to come here and unlock the gate. Breath of Ancient Still Air escapes from the opening, revealing a wide passage. I'm not gonna read so much now. Ooh, hello. Another mysterious encounter. Deserted village. Steady pulse in one corner where the vine's massive visible plume of otherworldly energy erupts, tearing at the fabric of this plane. This is an invasion point, site of strategic value to both Crisis and Exodus. I guess Exodus are the good guys. A duality exchange here could force an assault on the other side. Should the corruption be purged, a polarity post can be established, anchoring our presence. Okay. Commander, a crisis contamination of this scale has to be purged, or the nearby villages will be annihilated. More innocent people will die, and we may never recover the world soul here. To cleanse this much corruption, we have to cross into the other side and deploy a planar pin to stabilize the volatile energy. Prepare for duality exchange, Commander. Let's get justice for the villagers. The duality exchange is also available in the world map. Use the realm exchange to enter the other side. Interesting. Okay. This is an invasion point from Crisis. Be ready. We will seal the rift at this place. Okay. And I'm like, am I fighting here or do I? Okay. Deployment phase. The planar pin is ready for deployment. This will be a war of attrition. A constant stream of Crisis will attempt to destroy it. We must ensure deployment is uninterrupted on both planes to permanently seal this rift. Fortunately, the village's defenders left some rune circles during their final stand. They should provide a tactical advantage for us. Put these unsettled Crisis to their final rest, Commander. What does that do? +3 movement. Ooh, interesting. Okay, and on the other side, same runes. Okay. So, 4 units to potentially deploy. Except I only have 3, really, that are not already deployed. Okay, I guess I'll put the shield agent on this side. Maybe we'll go with the phantom agent over here. Maybe I'll go with the arrow agent on this side too, just because Michaela has already taken a bit of damage. Okay. Well, if this does not end up being the end of the demo, I will probably still... I'll probably still end my time playing it after this battle thing. That's an exchange rune. Cross area exchange. Select a coordinate as center to exchange planes within a cross-shaped area. Huh. Okay. And there's a 2-point exchange as well. So it looks like this is where... Yeah, a minion enemy will arrive after 1 round. Okay. So... I'm going to station you right there now to kind of have you ready to go. You, I can just kind of move somewhere else as needed. I'm going to move those 2 there. Although I do wonder if I should be attacking these things. Don't know if that really makes much difference either way. Right. Grant +2 defense. Okay, I guess that's that turn. There's nothing really... There are no enemies to combat at the moment. Well, now there are. So, you can go down here. And... Oh, geez, that's only going to do 1 damage. That's not good. Okay. You go here. You go here. Hiya. Be gone. Spectre, +2 attack power. Okay, let me flip this over. Oh, geez, that's quite a lot of enemies that might show up. Or that will show up next turn, I should say. Profane Flame. Okay, tell you what. Let me put one of those right over here. And then I think maybe I will... Alright, so they'll both be able to reach over this way next turn. I don't think the enemies are gonna immediately attack when they appear. But, well, maybe I should test that out and see what happens. I don't know. It actually makes me wonder if I should flip this tile. See, now one of them's gonna show up there, and if it doesn't immediately attack, then this dude will be better off. Alright. Okay. They do not immediately attack. That is good. So, now, what to do about this enemy? Well... that, maybe. Just get rid of it. Okay. You can go back there. You can go right here. And I'll have you go here, maybe? Oh, wow. That can be used every turn? That... okay. That is a lot, and I am definitely not arguing with my ability to do that. Real quick. You can only attack this guy right now. Okay. Kablam. Okay, those two are gone. Nothing on this side. Why does it not seem to let me move you, Michaela? I know you did not move yet this turn, so I am confused. Oh, really? At least I thought I didn't move you. Oh well. Okay, cannot do that. Well, I guess I'll move you there for now. And then end my turn. I mean, realistically speaking, I'm just trying to stay alive here, right? Okay. You can go there. Get rid of this guy. You... Ah, so close. Alright, well then maybe I won't have you go anywhere right now. So that's 4 damage. Let's see. Can't move there. I wonder why not. Cool. 5 damage. Be gone. You... I'm gonna have you move over here. Get you a little closer to that other enemy. I think I'll just keep you there for this turn. Okay, let me not spend too much time overthinking this. Ouch. Last round. Okay. And there's one last Twitch ad break going on. So maybe I'll just figure out what I'm doing for the moment and then actually do it once that's over. That's a lot of enemies on this side, actually. That unit's probably gonna go over here and attack this one. Oh. I almost wonder if that unit might just end up dying outright. I suppose I could do that. Just completely get rid of the stronger enemy there. I don't know. But yeah, on this side, definitely gonna have this guy attack here. Kablam. You can attack that one, I guess. Although, before I do that, fervor. Okay, now attack. And then you, I guess, can go here. Put up your shield. And then attack this guy. Oh yeah, you can do more of your flame thingy. And you know what? I'm just gonna have you move down here then. Or... yeah, down there for now. And break that thing. Because I can. Speaking of breaking things because I can. Okay. Yep, those two enemies just straight up died from burn damage. And that was just me lasting long enough to clear that battle. Got some more breach points. Cool. We did it, Commander. The planar pin has been deployed, and the polarity post is now operational. We can now open a transportation tunnel to HQ. The other side has resources that are hard to find in our world. If you are up to it, we should explore this stabilized plane. The team can swap back via the planar pin's location at any time. Okay, but... oh, okay. Polarity post. Yep. Extends your faction's influence. Protecting this area from corruption. HQ isn't accessible in this demo. More features will be available in later updates. Yeah. Gildengarth. Commander, be warned. We've detected highly active crisis signals ahead, appearing to be on a hunting pattern. Please proceed with caution. How about no? Another wandering echo. Duality admirer. Gain passive plane crossing recharge. Once each round, if the holder traverse to another plane, recover 1 exchange energy. Okay, well, that might not necessarily be everything in the demo, because it seems like there's at least this one other battle here. But, I am still thinking that's all I'm gonna do. That's kinda all that I have time for tonight. in addition to the fact that I'm just tired. So, whoa. I would like to have my mouse exit the game window, thank you. Do I have to go to retreat? I guess. Main menu. Okay, I guess I have to just exit. Okay. So, there you have it. Showed a couple of demos. So I guess these games are in development that had demos made for Next Fest so you can try them out. And the demos will probably be unavailable for a while after Next Fest, and then maybe come back shortly before the game's full release. Then you can finish that run on your own time then. Yeah, possibly. I may or may not go back to that game anytime soon, to be honest with you. But that is something I can determine for myself at another time. So, for now, I will just try and find somebody to raid on Twitch, perhaps, and then wrap up the stream. So, tomorrow's live stream, the focus will be on Kingdom Hearts 3, probably wrapping up things in San Francisco, and then going on to essentially other major story plot developments in most likely non-Disney worlds. So, yeah. Not sure I got too much else to say about tomorrow's stream. I guess, after the Kingdom Hearts stuff, I might go back to one of these Next Fest games and see if I can show y'all another one. And then next Thursday, after Bible study, yeah, so next Thursday is going to be the next couple of chapters of 2nd Chronicles. And then, yeah, something else from my Xbox. To be determined, I guess, but probably either Bible study or Hades. Which is a bit ironic, playing Hades after doing some Bible study, but I personally am not necessarily opposed to that idea. I was just trying to figure out who I should raid. I'm like kind of considering, all right, you know what? Let me just go with what I'm thinking. I get a feeling. Okay, so I'm thinking we'll raid the Ricoist Rico. And it looks like they might be in the middle of a, co-op collab thingamajig. But we'll see what's going on over there. So that's going to do it from me. Hope you're all doing well. Hopefully I will see you soon. Whether in another live stream or in just a recorded video archived video, even archived live stream, whatever. However, y'all end up seeing me and I end up seeing you. Until next time, stay cool, everybody.